Something is terribly wrong. My baby won't stop crying. It's actually more of a scream than a cry. You know, the kind of cry that can make a parent go cold. I'm new at being a mom, but the first time I heard my baby cry like this, it sent chills all through me. I just knew that my baby was dying. Except it wasn't. It was moving around normally, and so I just sat with it and rocked it. Eventually, it stopped crying and fell asleep. That was a few months ago. I thought it was a fluke, like maybe my baby had gas or something. But it wasn't, because now my baby won't stop crying. It wails and cries over and over again. I feel as if my baby is being tormented by something or someone. I've gone to the doctor with it a dozen times, but it doesn't cry when we're there. The doctor says that everything looks good. He advises me to keep a diary of what foods I might be eating in the off chance that my foods are upsetting the baby's sensitive belly. And I felt awful leaving the doctor's office, in spite of the weird look he was giving me, because he was a comfort to me and my baby. I just felt like when he was listening to it, that everything was okay. But mostly, he kept the crying at bay. My baby must have a crush on him. I know I do. But only because his office was the only place that I didn't hear my baby wailing. The quiet is so wonderful. I think it's been about 3 months since I've slept more than 2 hours at a time. My mom tells me to sleep when the baby sleeps, so that's what I do. But I really wish that the baby would sleep more often. The most she ever sleeps is 2 hours, and I'm lucky if she does that. But my dreams are filled with nightmares. Nightmares of my tears from being told that I couldn't have kids. Nightmares of weird doctors and odd fertility offices and wacky procedures. I didn't want to do any of these crazy things, especially the practices of my husband's religious witch doctor. But my husband wanted his own baby, a baby that will have his eyes and my smile. So I agreed to the midnight ceremony, deep in the basement of an abandoned cathedral. I don't know what happened there. I mean, bits and pieces come back to me in my sleep. But afterwards, when I feel like I'm close to the answers, my baby starts wailing and wakes me up. And now the wails are keeping my stubborn husband up as well as the neighbors. They have pounded on my apartment door, begging me to help that baby, screaming at me. One finally accused me of child abuse and called the cops on us. The cops were so confused when they heard nothing coming from the nursery. They saw my baby moving around and knew right away that something is not normal, but not in an abusive kind of way. Although, they did call social services on me. But what can they really do? My apartment is clean. I'm not on drugs. And the doc told me that my baby was in perfect health. So my husband found us a little motel and moved us into the room furthest away from other people. And to be honest, he's starting to scare me. He just kneels in front of us, praying and begging me for forgiveness. He's changed his mind about having his own baby, He begs me to just get rid of it. He says he can't take it screaming anymore. And the louder that his scream cries, the louder that he prays. I pray too, because I honestly want my baby. This is a miracle. Everything about my baby is a miracle. I mean, even if I were to ponder the thought of killing it, how would we do that? It doesn't matter though. Those thoughts come during my weakest times. And deep down, I could never live without my baby. But last night, my sweet, loving baby bit me. And I knew it was a bite. I mean, you can just tell when something is biting you. I'm not sure how this is possible, because it doesn't even have teeth yet. But the blood is there. A simple red streak, reminding me that where I go from here will change the lives of everyone around me. The blood freaked my husband out. He ran to the store and brought back a big knife, some blankets, and newspapers. He said he's not going to let this wailing baby kill me. He tells me he loves me too much to let that happen. I told him I called the doctor, and that the doctor promised he'd force me into labor next week. And I finally convinced him not to cut the baby out of me. I mean, we both wanted a baby so bad, and I'm so close now. I only have to listen to it screaming for 5 more days. I've listened to it for 5 months now. 5 more days is nothing. He agreed. Now I only wish that it would stop biting me.